Bonjour et bienvenue à un nouveau épisode de Sporting Heroes of West Anglia avec moi, Nathaniel Whiston. Aujourd'hui, je suis allé à une petite ville s'appelle Stow-Cum-Quy. C'est ouest de Bottisham, sud de Lode et est de Cambridge. C'est sud Cambridgeshire et dans West Anglia. Wondering why I did today's introduction in French. Well, the answer is simple. Today's sporting hero of West Anglia was originally from France, although nowadays I'm sure he would consider himself to be a citizen of the world. His job as a football manager has taken him to Malaysia, Cameroon, China, Syria, and a bunch of other countries in between. Today's sporting hero is Claude Le Roy. Why is Claude Le Roy a sporting hero of West Anglia? Of all the people I could have chosen, there are certainly others who you would deem to be more appropriate. After all, Le Roy only spent about 3 months here in West Anglia. He was working as a football manager for Cambridge United, the U's, and he wasn't there for long, but he had one hell of an impact, and I'm going to go into more detail later on about Le Roy's time here in West Anglia and why indeed he is a sporting hero of this region. I don't know a great deal about football. I know the usual 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 1966, penalty shootouts, red cards, yellow cards, Subbuteo, and Aussies going to Wembley. It's the beautiful game, it's a funny old game, and it's a game of two halves. That's football. I'm going to the village of Stow-Cum-Quy today. The reason I'm going there is that I believe it's the place where Le Roy stayed when he was in West Anglia. My reasons for this are that he came from a place called Bois Normandie Pré Lire, something like that. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I had enough trouble figuring out how to pronounce Stow-Cum-Quy, so you'll have to forgive me that I can't perfectly say the name of a small commune in northern France. But that hometown of Le Roy's is about the same size, population-wise and area-wise, as Stow-Cum-Quy in Cambridgeshire. And I think it's possible that he wanted to stay somewhere which reminded him of home. He may well have stayed in a hotel in the city of Cambridge, I don't know. He also may well have not stayed here at all because he was barely here. He might have commuted from France or wherever he has a house. Anyway, if he would have stayed in Cambridge for a long time, in Cambridgeshire for a long time, and at Cambridge United, then I think he would have stayed in Stow-Cum-Quy, and it's that village I'm going to today. Seems like a good place to park. And we're here. We're in Stow-Cum-Quy. This is downtown Stow-Cum-Quy, and there's some very nice houses here. I'm sure Le Roy could have afforded them. I know he was a lower league football manager, but he came from many other prestigious jobs where they definitely gave him a fair old amount of money, I would expect. That's a good question actually. How much money does the national team manager, football manager of the Democratic Republic of Congo earn? I'd like to think it would be enough to buy a house in a village like this. Take a look at this sign here. This path is for the use of Kwai villagers only. Can I use it? I'm in. From now on, if anyone asks, I'm a villager from Kwai. Let me set the scene for you about Claude Le Roy and the type of man Cambridge United were getting. In 1988, he'd steered Cameroon to victory in the African Cup of Nations and then took Senegal to the quarterfinals of that same competition. In 1998, he returned to Cameroon to take them to the World Cup finals. They didn't win that, but nobody was expecting them to, I suppose. It's always Brazil or Germany, isn't it? Those kinds of teams. He also spent some time as a football advisor with AC Milan. What they needed advising about, I'm not really sure. And he also spent some time at Paris Saint-Germain, where he was director of football. And if you know what that means, then you know more than me. So when he came here to West Anglia, Cambridge United were cock-a-hoop to acquire his services, knowing that they were getting this great name known by real football fans all over the world. He came 1st of March and stayed until the 23rd of July. 13 weeks to be precise. Not long, is it? But in that time, his Cambridge United team played 8 games. They won 4, they drew 3 and they lost 1. That's a good record by anyone's standards. And in fact, he saved them from relegation. So he may not have been here a very long time, sure, but that to me is an unqualified success. He came to Cambridge to stop them being relegated, and sure enough, he did it. There was a very vicious rumour that during his time at Cambridge United, Le Roy was hardly there at all. Didn't really do the training, turned up for a few matches, but because he'd already got commitments working for Canal Plus, the French television network, he didn't have much time to come to Cambridge. Those rumours are unfounded, in my opinion. But besides, even if they were true, he deserved to put his feet up and do some punditry work on television. That's easy. The guy's been everywhere, he's travelling all the time, living out of a suitcase. He needed a bit of a rest. Let him do some punditry work. Cambridge United did alright with the input he was able to make when he was here. So leave off him. I'm not having the Le Roy legacy besmirched. Not in this video. Just as quickly as he'd arrived, he left. Somewhere else in the world was calling out for him, and so off Le Roy went, gallivanting once again. Cambridge United, well, a year later they were relegated and ended up £1 million in debt. Would that have happened with Le Roy at the helm? Almost certainly not. Should perhaps Cambridge have made more of an effort to keep him? Almost certainly yes. A sign in French, a tribute to the Gallic Le Roy, no doubt. While doing my research, I found out that Le Roy has been in continuous employment in the world of football since 1980, give or take a few years. I thought football managers were supposed to get sacked all the time. This tells me that Le Roy is either a brilliant football manager or he's really good at interviews. Could well be both. Public footpath. That is a sign I like to see. You've got to be careful because you never know when you're going to bump into an angry farmer. And some of them have guns, they do. So I like to make sure that I'm walking on land which isn't going to see me get shot. Where can I go to from here? Station Road, load. or Kwai Fen. That's how you spell it. I believe it's Kwai. Anyone from Stow-Cum-Quy watching this, do correct me in the comments if I've got it wrong. It's a funny spelling, isn't it? Q-U-Y, Ki, Qui, Kwai, Q-E. I've started to say Kwai, so I'll just stick with that. On this public land in Stow-Cum-Quy, I could imagine Le Roy bringing his Cambridge United team out here to practice. Why not? A lot of space, relatively flat, good grass, perfect place to come and practice. I'm sure there's some of you watching this thinking, don't be stupid, Nathaniel, of course he didn't bring them out to a field in the middle of Cambridgeshire to train. But why not? Maybe he did. This is a man who isn't afraid to go off the beaten track, and this is off the beaten track. He's been to Oman, Syria, Togo. Do you know where those places are? You ever been there? Well, he's been there, he's been employed there. So I don't think it's far-fetched at all to suggest that he would have brought his team out here to this village in Cambridgeshire to practice. I don't think that's far-fetched at all. In fact, I think it definitely did happen. Yeah, it definitely happened. It's actually a good job that I do make these videos on my own. My friend Jeremy, he would have tried to have done one about Wayne Rooney or David Beckham, but there's hundreds of videos about them out there. How many videos do you see about Claude Le Roy? Not many. I've cornered the market. Look at that bridge over the River Kwai. Do you get it? Actually, I don't know if this river is called the Kwai, but we're in Kwai and there's a bridge, so that's close enough, isn't it? Claude Le Roy, a sporting hero of West Anglia? Really? He was only here for 13 weeks. Sure, he saved Cambridge United from relegation, but there must be hundreds of names who are more deserving of that honour. Perhaps, yes. However, I've decided to include Claude Le Roy because of the great honour he bestowed on West Anglia by including us in his global football journey. Think about it. This is a man who's been to every exotic location there is in the world. Ghana, Syria, Malaysia, France, Cameroon, Italy, China. He's been everywhere. And because of his decision to come to Cambridge United, West Anglia is now on that list of glamorous locations. To be a traveller with shoes of wind like me, I'm sure I'm a little bit lucky. That's a quote from Le Roy, and I'm sure that was driven by the fact that he spent some time here in West Anglia. I, like him, with my own shoes of wind, feel lucky to see as much of West Anglia as I do. Myself and Le Roy have both been on life-enriching journeys. He's gone from Ghana to Togo via Syria, and I've gone from Peterborough to Stevenage via St Neots. But both very special in their own way. That was Stow-Cum-Quy, and I've been walking around the village telling the story of Claude Le Roy, Cambridge United manager in 2004, here in West Anglia. Whether you're a soccer fan or not, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and finding out about the great man himself, Le Roy meaning the king in French, of course. That's it for today, but I hope you'll join me again next time. I'm Nathaniel Whiston, and this was Sporting Heroes of West Anglia. Goodbye.